So when it comes to unsolicited advice, if I don't ask, please don't tell. It's as simple as that. Hello guys, it's been a while. I've been gone and now I'm back. I know it's been a bit of a while since the last update, but as I've told you, I'm not doing them every month now because there wouldn't be much to say. But this month I have a bit to say. So first of all, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I went to the Bahamas and it was kind of like an early birthday gift for myself and a late birthday gift for my boyfriend. We both turned 30 this year, and also I'm able to go on holidays to somewhere hot and be okay in a bikini because my skin is not that bad anymore. So today is the 3rd of April 2019 and I am 514 days, can you see right there, 514 days steroid free, and I hit the 500-day mark when I was in the Bahamas. I didn't know that until I decided to post a picture and I realized, oh, it's day 500. That's a nice place to be when you hit 500 days. I'm gonna talk about the journey a little bit because as I've told you guys, I used to hate plane journeys. That was the worst part of a holiday because when you're on a plane, the air is like, it's like aircon, it's cold, it's dry, it's recycled, and it would dry me out so much. So on the way there, I didn't wear any foundation, just cream, just eyebrows. It was a 10-hour flight, so I literally just put my hair in a pineapple, headscarf, and just kind of tried to sleep the whole way there. On the way there, my skin was very good. I moisturized before takeoff and moisturized again when we landed, and I was fine. Once we hit the Bahamas, the air was more humid, it was moist. I hate that word. It was good, it was fine. The first few days in the Bahamas was just adjusting to the heat. The temperature in London when I left was probably like 10 degrees. Over there, it was more like 27 degrees. So there's an adjustment. And also, the hotel is very air-conned inside. And then you step outside and it's like hitting you in the face. It's a bit like opening an oven when you're cooking. It just hits you. So I didn't know how my skin would react to the extreme hot, cold, hot, cold. It was fine. For the first couple of days, it was completely fine. One thing I really wanted to do while I was out there was to swim with dolphins, and we went on the 4th day of our holiday. It was the only day that it started chucking it down with rain, and I was really panicking because I thought, do they cancel if it rains? Because, I mean, you're in the water, does rain really matter? But it was like a little monsoon, torrential downpour, literally half an hour before we were meant to go in, and I just kept looking at the sky saying, please don't rain, just stop. For 1 hour, just please stop. And it did. It really did. The clouds kind of parted, and during our session, sunshine. Beautiful. When we swam with dolphins, we had to wear a wetsuit. The only thing is, when I went to take off my wetsuit, I noticed that the inside of my thighs were burning. And that's not a good sign because I'm not a skinny girl like that. My thighs rub, so not only were they burning, now that I've taken the suit off, every step that I'm taking, it's just hurting. I already had rinsed. They had a little shower outside, but it was still burning so badly. And I think what happened was, because of the wetsuit and you're in the water for an hour, normally the water has like a chance to like circulate around your legs. But with the wetsuit, it kind of just holds the water there, right next to your skin. Like I said, I'm not a skinny girl. The wetsuit is tight. It is skin tight, and it is like, at one point I even said I think it's cutting off the circulation in my thighs, but anyway, it's just holding all that salt water right up to your skin. It gets warm, and we were sitting in the water for an hour. Not very good. So when we got back to the hotel, I realized that the inside of my thighs had become all bumpy and rashy. It looked like heat rash, but then it looked like eczema, and literally it just popped up in the hour. And for the rest of the holiday, I had to deal with this inner rash between my thighs. I just made sure that if I ever went into the water or the ocean, to rinse off really good immediately after I got out the water, and then applied sunscreen. So that gave me a bit of, first, a barrier, and also that gave me a bit of slip when I'm walking, so my thighs don't actually like cause friction between them. I didn't take any medication with me whatsoever. No antihistamines, nothing like that. Normally I would always take antihistamines with me just in case. didn't bother. And it was just a really, really good holiday. We split it into 2 parts. We spent a week in the Atlantis and a week at this other little hostel place, which was more like quiet and it was more secluded. I was meant to swim with pigs at that hotel because they had 2 pet pigs that you could hire for feeding. You could feed them, swim with them. But let me tell you, the waves were crazy on the day that we wanted to swim with them. It's just like I have bad luck. Like every day I need to do something with the animals. The heavens just want to open up. And we just couldn't do it. Wasn't too upset because like I've seen a pig. A pig is a pig. A dolphin's a bit different. I ate a lot of food, drank a lot of alcohol. That's another thing. I drank a lot of alcohol and nothing happened to my skin. I don't know if that's because I'm past a certain point. I don't know if because alcohol doesn't really affect TSW. Regardless, there was a lot of rum, there was a lot of tequila. I love my tequila. So that's the good part of this update. And now I'm going to put on my serious face because we need to have a talk. This is very serious. There's a lot of things I want to say, but I don't want to offend anyone. There's a chance that what you say, someone's not going to like. And that's fine. You're allowed to have your own opinion. You just don't have to bash anyone for it. So, I have a couple of points that I want to put out, and it's going to come out all backwards, but I wrote it down on my phone because there's so many. I know people are going to have different opinions on this and that, saying that diet is a must. Like, you have to switch up your diet. You have to go clean. You have to eliminate dairy, meat, alcohol, gluten, I don't know. And then that will be the reason why you heal. But the point is, I'm saying that I did none of that, and my skin was pretty bad at one point, you know, when I was like reptile and bruised and all that, and now I'm doing good. So what I'm saying is, if someone's telling you that you have to go on a, I'll just say it, raw vegan diet to heal your eczema, you don't have to. It's an option, you don't have to. And nobody should make you feel guilty for not doing it. And this is what really bothers me. Obviously, I'm a part of a lot of the TSW groups on Facebook. Sometimes I'll comment, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll start a discussion. It's funny because I will sit there and say the complete opposite. And I mean, the proof is in the... That's a bit rude to say, isn't it? And I mean, I'm just proof that you don't have to go to those extremes to see an improvement in your skin. I'm not gonna sit there and reply to your comment and say, you're wrong. If she does that, she won't heal. I won't say that. I'm not gonna tell you to stop juicing, but I'm gonna tell you, you don't have to juice if you don't want to. That's the difference. I hope I'm making some kind of sense. A lot of people are asking me, like, your skin's looking good, what have you been doing? And they're very, very fixated on what I've been eating. They wanna know exactly what I'm doing. And I've said this from day one. I didn't follow any diets. I didn't use any supplements. That's a bit of a lie because at the beginning I did, and I found that it made no difference. So I stopped literally for the first month, I would say. And this is the point I'm trying to make. I want people to not fixate so much on what they're eating and what they're doing and just let your body heal. I'm not saying it's useless to ask. It's okay to ask, but when people say, like, can you make a what you eat in a day? That's quite, to me, that's quite obsessive, because if I tell you I eat what I want, what I eat in a day shouldn't matter. That should mean that you should eat what you want, not what I eat. Everyone is different. It's a bit like when people ask about my hair, right? They go, how did you get it healthy? What do you use? Stop straightening. That's pretty much it. That's literally all I did. Just stop straightening. But if you want to know what products I use, that's fine. But at the end of the day, your hair growth depends on your genetics. Some people's hair grows faster, slower. Some people's hair gets to a certain length and it won't necessarily pass that length. It's genetic. Exactly the same with like fitness models on Instagram. You know when they say, oh, can you post a workout routine? Like, what do? You could follow someone else's workout routine and never have the same body as them. And it's a very female thing. People ask, like, how did you grow your hips? And how did you do this? Again, most of these things are genetic and surgery. But that's not the point. Like, for me, I will never without surgery, have hips the size of Kim Kardashian. There is no point in me asking, what is Kim Kardashian's workout routine with the hopes of becoming shaped like her. It doesn't make sense. Before we all started this journey, we all believed that steroids were correct, right? And then someone somewhere said this isn't right, and they changed their opinion and they went about their own journey. They followed their instinct, felt that something was wrong, and they chose their own path. For those that were still on steroids, it would be really bad of them to say, well, you're definitely going to get worse, your eczema's going to get worse, you're causing your eczema, you're the reason it's making it worse. The most you can say is, the steroids are working for me, but if they're not working for you, I hope you find the answer. And this is where the opposing side of the Dr. Aaron regimen, I hope I'm doing it right because I know people get really annoyed with regime and regimen, comes into play. If you don't know what that is, Dr. Aaron is a doctor who believes that our eczema, or more likely the extreme eczema that we're seeing, as in the red skin, the extreme flaking and dryness, is caused by staph. And the staph are increasing because of the use of steroids and an infection or something. So the way to cure it is to use steroids still to get rid of the inflammation, but also use an antibiotic and a moisturizer. He will formulate you a cream, a mixture that is unique to you, your height, your size, your usage, and you use this cream with multiple applications per day, with the ideal that you taper down and eventually have to come off the cream. I love the theory, but the point is, for me, steroids weren't working anymore, and I don't like the idea of steroids anymore. I don't want to use them. If I can go through life without using them ever again, regardless how small the amount, I will do that. This is why I will not do the Aaron regimen, the Dr. Aaron regimen. What he will do is use a massive tub of moisturizer and a small tube of steroid and a small tube of antibiotics. So the amount that you're actually using is very diluted, and this is why people go for it, because they feel like the usage is more managed and it's less than what you would use without using this mixture. This is the problem. This was a few months back. I saw a comment on the group, because I am part of that group, because when I started my withdrawal, I wanted to see all my options. And when I found out the cream had steroid in it, I just said no, but I stayed in the group. This man posted a comment saying, I'm leaving the group, the cream, I don't like the idea of the cream, I want to stop. So with that, being in the group, if that was me, I'd be like, especially if it was working for me, because for a lot of patients in the group, it works for them. If that was me in the group, I would have said, well, it works for me, but I hope you find what you're looking for. And he wasn't met with anything like that. He was met with so much hostility, so much anger, rudeness, just like a superiority complex. They felt like, basically it looked like he was cast out. Even though he kind of bowed out gracefully, it was just really rude. Here's my thought. Back when we were all on steroids, didn't we think that we were doing the right thing until they didn't work for us? How many methods of treatment did we go through, us eczema sufferers? How many methods did we go through until we found one that worked for us? Whether that be something to use in the bath, or finding that you're allergic to something so you eliminate it. Those are all different methods of controlling your eczema. And it's not like you wake up one day and you know the answer of how to cure your eczema or control it. With us, we go through multiple methods to find one that works for us. This man tried the Aaron method and decided it wasn't for him. So why were the people of that group being so rude? Because like them, they must have exhausted all of their options until they found the Dr. Aaron method. If the Dr. Aaron regimen was your 10th method of trying to control your eczema, clearly number 9 didn't work for you. Number 7 didn't work for you. Number 3 didn't work for you. The same way that it's not working for this man. So why do you have to berate him for trying something else? That's what I don't understand. The comments were so hostile, and I had to say something. I just felt he was just being treated so horribly. If you believe in Dr. Aaron's method and someone says they don't, why does that shake you so much that you have to resort to name calling and belittling them? If you believe it works for you, it works. Nothing anyone else will say will will stop it from working for you. So just let them go in peace. Just like wish them well. Just say, I hope you find what you're looking for. I'm not really one to comment on too many things, but that one thing really upset me. Another thing that I want to rant about is unsolicited advice. If you come into the TSW group and you ask a question, expect answers, correct? Yeah, because you ask the question, you're going to get answers. What I don't like, and I'm sure a lot of people with eczema are very familiar with this, is when people offer you unsolicited advice. E.g., you walk into a shop and someone's like, oh my God, you're really dry, you should try this cream. I came into the shop to buy chips. I don't want to talk about my skin. That's not why I'm here. However, if I walked into a pharmacy and asked, what can I use for my skin? That's when you talk to me about it. I did not come wherever to have you, a stranger, tell me about what I should do with my skin. And you've judged me in 20 seconds. It's not nice. Often, most of the solutions people offer you, they've got like an anecdotal reference, like, oh, my cousin had eczema, he used this and it went away. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for that, because what that kind of does is it implies that I am incapable of looking after myself. I am incapable of understanding my own disease, which I have lived with for the majority of my life. I am very, very sure that anything, well, probably 90% of things that you offer me, I have tried. And they don't work. Everyone's seen that t-shirt, you know, yes, I've tried coconut oil. The amount of people that tell me to put coconut oil on my skin, please, no one else tell me that. It makes me itch. That is the bad thing about unsolicited advice. It puts people on the spot, it makes them feel awkward, and then you feel like you're obligated to take their advice just to seem not rude. When in all honesty, you don't want it. I'll give you a little story. This one time, I was at home. This was when my skin was pretty bad. And I wasn't expecting any visitors or whatever, and there was a knock at the door, and I had a look through the window, and it was my Pretty Little Thing delivery guy, and I wasn't expecting him that day, so I wasn't decent, and I just wasn't prepared. But I opened the door, and I remember opening it just a little bit to see him, and I was like, good morning, you okay? And he goes, yeah, here's your order. So he handed me the parcel, and I kind of slipped my arm round the door to grab it. And all he said was, oh my God, what is all this? Just like that. With disgust, with shock. And let me tell you, it put me in a mood for the rest of the day. I just quietly said, I have eczema. And then he said something like, you should really put some cream on that. And I just thought, oh my days. And like I've said before, I sometimes do moisture withdrawals at home. If I'm not going to see anyone, I'm going to sit in my bed and let my skin just be, you know, let it be dry until I'm ready to go out. Then I will go in the shower, the bath, exfoliate that, and then I'll cream it up, and I'll look so normal. Honestly, like, he has never noticed that I have eczema, and he's been delivering to me for like the last 3 years. He's never noticed. But this day I was not prepared to see him, and that's how he treated me. And it was just like, it just made me feel even worse. And it was just the way he said it. What is all that on your arm? Like, what is all this? Wow, am I that repulsive? And he even kind of like, he did like a little step back, and I was like, oh crap. And ever since that day, our relationship has changed. Whenever he delivers me things, he keeps it so brief now, because I think he could tell how much he offended me. And most times now, my mum just answers the door, because I told her, and she knows like how I can get. And sometimes I can hear them talking, and he was like, oh, how is she? And I'm like, it's funny, because you never asked how I was when you didn't know I had eczema, because I have had eczema this whole time. It's just that I hide it very well, clearly. Another thing that happened to me, oh my days. When someone looks, this has happened so many times. When someone looks at my skin and tells me, you should ask for forgiveness, do you know how heartbreaking that is? As someone with eczema, I get told that a lot, and it really, really hurts my feelings. I personally am not that religious, and that's my choice. What you're essentially telling me is that I'm being punished for something. This is my punishment, and the reason I'm still suffering is because I haven't asked for forgiveness. But what am I asking forgiveness for? You're implying that I deserve this? Or my suffering is caused by my own disbelief? What should I be forgiven for? What sin have I committed in this life or my past life that I need to ask for forgiveness? And are you implying that the reason I'm still suffering is because I haven't done that? Imagine saying that to a child. I think I have been told that as a child. It was my friend's mum. The same mum that tried to feed me peanuts when I said I was allergic to them because that would be my cure. Again, this is what I was saying before. If I believe in God and someone else doesn't, I'm not going to make them feel guilty for not believing the same thing I do. Stop forcing your opinion on someone because it does nothing. If they're not ready, the more you push, the more they'll dig in their heels. Unless someone is ready to do what they want, they're not going to do it. So when it comes to unsolicited advice, if I don't ask, please don't tell. It's as simple as that. If anyone out there has seen the film Mr. Nobody, you'll know that there's this little skit at the beginning of the film, and it's about an experiment. In this experiment, doves are kept in a cage with a little opening, and food comes out of the opening. To begin with, the dove is given a button. If they press the button, they get food. And the dove quickly learns that this button will give me a treat. And that is their reality. Later on, the scientists change the experiment and the food comes out on a timer. So now the pigeon doesn't understand. He's like, well, I'm not pressing a button, so what's causing the food to come out? And basically, whatever the dove was doing at the time that the food was coming out, they will continue to do that because in their brain, they believe that, oh, I flapped my wings this one time and food came out. Therefore, it must be my wings. Every time I flap my wings, food will come out. And these birds will continue to do that. Even though the food is on a timer, they will continue to flap their wings until the food comes out. And every time it happens, it's like confirmation bias. Then they believe it even more and it continues. I think a lot of people do that with TSW. When I tell people that I did nothing to cure my TSW symptoms other than stopping the steroids, I think some people don't like the idea of that because as humans, we feel like seeing proof is one thing, but there needs to be a cause and effect. There needs to be a reason for why this is happening. That is why I think people tend to buy into supplements and programs, follow certain people with diet listings and all this. I'm talking about one person. I'm talking about the medical medium. Now look, I'm not going to bash anyone for using their stuff. If you are juicing, I'm not going to tell you to stop juicing because, everyone can have more vegetables in their life. But what I'm saying is, what if, humor me, what if you could have had the same results if you didn't do all of that? What if it was just time? But I feel like some people need to know that they're actively doing something to help themselves for them to believe that it's working. It's kind of like you do something, it causes the result you wanted, and then you're happy. But if you do nothing and that same result happens, I feel like people are dissatisfied. With the pigeon experiment, it's called Pigeon Superstition. And it's like that. I was like that in the beginning with my withdrawal, definitely. I was convinced that if I had alcohol, I would flare. So I stopped having alcohol. But I kept flaring. So then I had alcohol and nothing happened. It's a bit like if something worked one day, like what can I use? Say, okay, a tea. We'll just use a tea. If you had a green tea in the morning and you didn't flare that whole day, you would be like, this tea is working for me. This is great. You're likely to continue drinking that tea because, it made me feel better that day. I didn't flare. It was good. Say you had that tea every day for 1 week and on day 4 you flared, you're very likely to dismiss that one day as an anomaly because the other 6 days worked. Am I making sense? When really, even if you didn't drink the tea the whole week, that same pattern might have happened. But because you feel like you found something that you can hold to, that you can pinpoint success on, you'll keep doing it. I did the same thing. I took supplements in the beginning month. I literally showed you in a clip a few months back. I had all these supplements. My skin was doing all of this up and down. It was bad. It was good some days. It was rubbish. And then I stopped all the supplements and the same pattern continued. It made no difference. But if I continued to take the supplements and got better, I might have pinpointed it on one of the supplements thinking, yeah, it must be this one. This is what made me better. And I just think, especially going through TSW, thinking about diets and changing so many things in your life, it's just an added stress. And some of these programs that people are following, let's be honest, they do require money. And when you're desperate, you will give anything to make yourself feel better. And when money gets involved, because let's face it, supplements, some of them, especially if it's high quality, they're expensive. And sometimes when something's more expensive, you're more likely to believe that it works. But for me, if I tell you, like, just don't do anything, that's free advice. Free advice. I'm just one person with just myself, but I mean, if you go to someone with a million followers, you're more likely to believe them. And because they're actively selling you something and they're saying this is what's going to help you, you're more likely to believe it because you're actively doing something to help yourself. And I'm telling you, don't do anything, so why would you believe me? Also, last thing, everyone keeps telling me to follow Rob Stewart on YouTube. I followed him probably in the first month of withdrawal. I know who he is. I know that he followed a vegan diet, but do you guys still follow him? Do you guys still follow his journey? Because I'll tell you, he's gone back to a regular diet, and not only that, I think he's keto, but ultimately he got ill on it. And he's just uploaded a video today. Today's the 3rd of April. Have a look at that video. There is a contrast between his body when he was vegan and how he is now. He looks a lot healthier now that he isn't vegan. He's a lot more muscular. He's more built. He was like that beforehand. When you decide to base your diet, your lifestyle, your opinions, your choices on someone else, just make your own informed decision, because your body is not their body. Your changes will be different from theirs. Everyone's different. Just follow your body. Listen to your body. It's like we're so scared to let our bodies do what they need to do. You know, people get a cold nowadays and they're buying Sudafed and Lemsip and nasal sprays and, I don't know, Vicks Vapor Rub, and it's just like, if you don't buy all that stuff, the cold will still go away. You might suffer, but I mean, your body is very capable of healing itself. That is what it's there for. You cannot, like, drown yourself. Your body will fight to lift you back up, and your body will kick and scream, and it will save you. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, just do you. Whatever you feel like you want to do, do you. If you want to follow someone like the medical medium, go ahead, but don't bash anyone that doesn't do it. Don't tell them that they're in a bad place because they're not drinking celery juice in the morning. Just say, I drink celery juice and it works for me. But don't bash anyone for that. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. But anyway, thank you guys very much. This was what month are we in now? So I'm coming up to my 17th month withdrawal in 3 days. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope I'm not offending anyone. I'm just giving my opinion. Be nice to one another, support each other. If something doesn't work for someone, just let them find their own way. And also, let's face it, if you do nothing, nobody's making money. The pharmaceutical company work in the exact same way. If you are cured and you are not using their steroids, they are not making money off you. Same with all these supplements and people selling their diet plans. If you sit at home and do nothing like I did, they can't make money off you. It is a bit of a profit thing, but at the end of the day, it's up to you what you do. You don't need to base your diet, your lifestyle, your opinions on someone else. Just listen to your body, because I think we've forgotten how to do that a long time ago. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next update. Next month is my birthday month again, and it will also be my 2 years on YouTube. So the next video that you see from me, there's a good chance that I might be 30. So can you just tell me that I look young, because I'm getting old now? Thank you. Hope you guys have a lovely day, and bye.